What is it about the land of Egypt that speaks to us still? How can it help our modern lives? What is it calling out to us to remember? Ancient Egypt, or Kemet as it was originally called, in the times of Zep-Tepi, the times of before, nature was still pure, a celebration of the sky, the lion, the humble beetle, and the land itself, and above all the mighty river Nile and the flower of the Nile, the blue lotus. When arts were used not just for entertainment or even religion, but to bring alive the world so that it could sing, so that we could feel the fields of energy running between human and nature. This living connection that brings us home to the quantum reality in life, our ability to communicate and listen to the world around us. That connection that transforms us from creature on the ground to living creator of our own destinies. That brings us to ecstatic consciousness, the joy of realizing the living mind within all things, always working to speak and interact with us, to send us confirmations through the electromagnetic field of color and sound. Nature is the mirror, communicating inspiration, beauty, and enjoyment through its many colors, textures, and experiences. We watch the world not just to observe its forms or to see it as an object of survival, but to absorb its wonder. In the modern world, we are over-focused on each other, on human matters and human dramas. The human field becomes dense, not dense in number, but dense in heavy and retracted consciousness. Our eyes that should be directed on the scene of nature are fixed upon each other's activities, social power, and wealth. Humans are meant to share and observe and enjoy nature together, side by side, not facing each other in antagonism. We have lost the ability to sit within. A study was done to test how willing people are to sit with themselves, and 90% of participants preferred receiving an electric shock than sitting with themselves. This is because we've been trained to live on the surface, to be entertained, distracted, superficial, to not go deep. And yet it is depth and concentration and focus that grows our brain abilities and helps us heal mental illness. When we heighten our perception, our ability to understand, and our ability to notice, we eventually see that we are part of a great noble play of energy and thus noble ourselves. In many traditions, the land was a mirror for the whole body. There are sacred sites, potent places chosen for their geographical nature or for the flora and fauna, or histories, or their location on the earth. Sacred places where the energy is high, where the field can be intensely felt, where our mundane consciousness shifts. The land of Egypt, or Kemet, is like one massive sacred site where the river Nile itself mirrors the star patterns in the sky. From the sky looking down, the river looks like a spine with a brain network of neurons at the top in the delta, and all along the spine many points where the Egyptians placed their sacred temples. Each temple brings its own traditions, stories, feeling, responses, experiences, its own resonance, and we can feel these different resonances in our own body. Each temple mirroring the Egyptian location and the stories in the place, and the nature themes, symbols and lessons, and they mirror these in our own bodies, and in this way the stories are felt in our bodies as a sacred movement of the world. Our abdomen becomes a sea, our heart becomes a sun, our brain becomes a throne room. We become these things in a direct experience of knowledge, for knowledge transforms into felt experience to be known. We study the land of Egypt and its stories and embody these stories within our own bodies, using the most powerful tools of all, the breath, the sound, the words. Place your hand now on your belly and breathe here into this place to try it for yourself. Breathe into the place of water, the inner sea, sometimes like a stormy ocean of wild emotion, but other times like a calm inner sea. The belly is where we produce a lot of well-being sensation and chemicals, serotonin, where we digest information. We use the story of the mistress of the waters, of sound and word here to help us calm the inner sea. We find the story and the sounds, and they help us connect in a much deeper way to our power center, the abdomen. Well, we're not just anatomy, but animated form. It's not just the structure of our abdomen that we connect to, but the imagery and the element and the stories of it. These notions, until recently, have seemed fanciful or religious, but new science discoveries are showing us just how interconnected the body is, how different parts of the body seem to communicate with each other, and how subtle energies and electromagnetic fields move through us and are in fact the essence of us. So place your hand now on your belly and breathe into your hand. Acknowledge and calm your belly as a center of power, where the breath settles the fear and anxiousness. The belly is the place we sit into. We sit into the center, sit into the throne. When fear and destructive emotion have been listened to and calmed, they subside and dissolve and leave behind in the belly center a massive reservoir of energy, a sea of energy, a sea that can be used to grow our own sense of self or sovereignty, to sit on the throne, and to drive energy into other parts of our being to further the evolving awakening. we connect the sea of the belly to the sun in our heart, the heart center that radiates the most electromagnetic frequency and where we transform from lower survival self to a higher objective. The sun radiates warmth and presence through the center of our chest, and we feel it expand outwards with our extended arms, with our expanding ribcage like wings. A center of breathing in the rib cavity, as well as a point of tranquility and acupressure. We breathe into here and feel our breath expanding the field of energy moving through us, radiating outwards like a sun, expanding through the breath. And then breathe upwards the energy of the calm sea up into the heart center, up the river of the spine, to send out a signature of well-being. This is what is required to manifest our joy, to manifest our dreams, the vital essence of pleasure which the ancient Africans knew as the foundation of their knowledge, and which is also the secret of the yellow heart of the rising blue lotus flower. It rises out of the mud of the Nile, travels through the water to shine at the sky free of mud and dirt. A hydrophilic flower that has always been a universal symbol of purification and hope. The hope of the triumph that comes when we clean the shadows through a deep contemplation of our own being and the roots below. The roots being histories and memories and the unified message of humankind to excel and triumph and be like the sun, the sky, and the stars. So place your hand on your abdomen and breathe into your hand as if you were expanding an inner sea. Feel the breath releasing and expanding the tight abdomen. And place your other hand on the middle of your chest and breathe into here as if it were a shining sun reaching from horizon to horizon, and extending your message out into the world. Let the peace of the calm sea of your center fuel the burning sun. And begin to make the round open O sound into your belly to swell the belly, to help it be free. And then an R into the chest, the wide sound, the open sound. And sing alive this connection between sea and sun, and biology and energy.